everyone, my name is Gregory Scott, and today I'd like to make a video about the four blood moons, the four lunar eclipses that are happening in the years 2014 and 2015, and also the solar eclipse that's happening in 2015. I'm an astrologer who lives in the United Kingdom, and I just want to give you the astrological perspective to all of this. I am aware that a lot of this has been covered and looked at in terms of a really religious perspective, in particular the perspective of Christianity and Judaism. Now, the thing that's quite significant here is that in terms of the Christian prophecies and the Bible, there's a section in Acts 2 verse 20 which really indicates that there's going to be a period when the sun is going to darken and the moon is going to turn red, and that will really indicate either a second coming of the Messiah or an apocalypse, and that's really why it's interesting from and significant from that perspective. And then also in terms of Judaism, the dates that these eclipses are falling on are really strangely connective to the dates that are significant in Judaism. So two of them fall on the Passover and two of them fall on the Feast of Tabernacles. On top of that, the solar eclipse happening in 2015 is actually on the same date that the Jewish people were freed from Egypt. So you can see why those groups of people would really take a lot of notice of this and really feel that this is significant. And what I want to do is really give you the astrology take on this, to have a look at what's actually happening in terms of the astrological charts. And the way I work as an astrologer is I look at the charts and look at how the planets move, and I actually look at what the influences are on the people inhabiting this planet. Because the whole, I think, thinking behind astrology is that on a soul level we have free choice, we are spiritual beings, but we do live on a on a physical planet. We do live in a 3D physical world, and the actual influences of the heavenly bodies, they have an impact on the body, they have an impact on the way the environment is, and that's why astrology is really significant and important, because these influences are measurable, and you can see that when certain heavenly bodies kind of conjunct or oppose each other, then there's a kind of outcome to that on this physical reality. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to have a look at each chart for each of these eclipses. The first one being the 15th of April 2014, and I've made a video about this. This was the period that's just gone, actually, where there was a grand cross in the sky, and it was a period when people were being pulled in four different directions. There was a lot of kind of Mars and aggression energy, a lot of energy about transforming your daily life, about doing things your way, and really expanding your own kind of view of things. The eclipse itself was very telling, because as an astrologer, what I look at when eclipses are occurring are whether the eclipse is on the north node of the moon or whether it's on the south node of the moon. When it's on the north node of the moon, it's about bringing something in and infusing humanity with a type of energy. When it's on the south node, it's about mastering something and letting go of something. And this eclipse on the 15th of April was all about bringing Libra energy into the world and bringing that harmonious, beautifying, harmonizing kind of sensibility to people and allowing them to connect more. And as the first of these four eclipses, it really sets the scene for humanity to enter a kind of period of more understanding and people relating to each other better, and really making that shift from being really self-centered and egoic to taking other people into account and looking at how you can help the world and how people can help each other. So that's the 15th of April, and that's what I continue to see and really did feel when this occurred. The next lunar eclipse occurs on the 8th of October 2014. And again, this is another blood moon. It's when the actual shadow of the Earth covers the moon, and it's the shadow is called the umbra, and it colors the moon that sort of reddish color. And this is interesting because This is on the South Node. So this is about letting go of something and having mastered something. And in astrology, there's certain aspects and certain kind of configurations which are significant and meaningful. And there's one occurring on this day which is very meaningful. It's called a grand trine, and it's when three planets connect in a really harmonizing way, and it's in fire, which means this day and this eclipse is about passion, it's about ego, it's about drive, ambition, and kind of wanting things a certain way. Now, the three planets involved in this are Mars in Sagittarius in the first house, Jupiter in Leo in the 8th house, and Uranus in Aries in the 4th house. Please remember that it is on the South Node, so it's about letting go of this energy. And this energy is all about focusing on what it is you want, how you can expand yourself, how you can expand your ego. It's about expanding your knowledge and your subconscious mind and the dreams that you have for yourself and making those a reality and really being forceful with those. And then finally, it's also about rebelling and being a pioneer of taking your kind of family situation or your people or the group that you feel you belong to and really pushing that out and getting what you want. That's the energy, and that's an energy that as a planet and on a whole we're very familiar with. We've heard this story, and this is the kind of energy and drive that we've seen in, you know, conflicts between countries and peoples and all sorts of things. When one group thinks they're better than the other or want to expand themselves or express themselves, and they want to elbow someone out of the way and dominate someone. Now, because this lunar eclipse, as I've said a couple of times now, is on the South Node, humanity has mastered this, and there's a point on the 8th of October 2014 when humanity realized, we get this, we've done this, we don't need to continue doing this anymore, and humanity is able to let it go. And that is such fantastic news, because this is an energy that's been with people for thousands of years, and the fact that there's some sort of mastery and learning and overcoming of this is really, it really bodes well for people. The next eclipse is on the 4th of April 2015, and this eclipse again is on the North Node of the Moon, and this is about bringing something else in. Now, the eclipse and the Moon is in the 4th house, which is in that house of the group, the family, the people closest to you, and this blood moon is about bringing in more harmony into those groups of people. The North Node here is also, it stations on this day, which means it looks like it's stopping. It stops moving as quickly as it usually would. And that means it's solid and it's very focused. It opposes three planets. It opposes Uranus, the Sun, and Mercury in Aries, in the 10th house. And what that means is that humanity's urge to really rebel and do things their way, to be ego-driven, and to communicate the things that they want to communicate, or only listen to the things that they feel are right or they want to hear, and being really kind of aggressive and closed-minded to other people's views and opinions, that kind of energy is pushed away and almost looked at in a way that's quite aware and understanding. So really people look at this and say, okay, this is one of our options. We can either be really aggressive and do this, or we can look at where we want to go, which is as a collective, we want to achieve more harmony and we want to go there. And I really sense that it's a day of choice where people say, right, we're going to be more open-minded and we're going to allow our own spirits to kind of go to that side of spiritual advancement rather than ego advancement. It's really interesting and really powerful. And what also happens on this day is another one of these significant kind of constellations is there, and it's called it's almost like half a square, and that's why it's called a T-square. It's a opposition and then two angles on the side forming a kind of triangle. And the opposition is the energy I was just spoken about, that choice between ego and harmony, letting more harmony in. And the point of the triangle is the solution to the problem. And the solution to the problem is Pluto in Capricorn in the 6th house. Pluto is the transformational energy. Pluto is the kind of destroyer and rebirther. And Capricorn is the practical sense of ambition and drive on this planet. The 6th house is the everyday routine. So really what happens is that on a very concrete, mundane, everyday, banal kind of level, people are able to integrate more harmony into their life. And really, this is the eclipse when really the change is going to be felt on a day-to-day basis on this planet. The eclipses on the 15th of April 14 and October 8th 14 were very much about setting the scene of this harmony and bringing together of more everyday life, whereas now April 4th 2015 it's going to be almost visible on a day-to-day basis. So if you go out, you're going to see more peace in the world. Like someone said, you know, the peace is going to break out all over the world, and it's going to be more measurable. So this is a really wonderful transformative lunar eclipse, and that's really what I see happening on this day. And then finally the Blood Moon on September 28th 2015. Again, interesting forces going on here. First, obviously the node this is on is again the south node. So it's about letting something go. And the planets involved in this here are Pluto, excuse me, and I just need to have a look around. Pluto, the Sun, and the Moon. Which again, oh right, okay. So this day is about an opposition between the ego and the intuitive inner self. There's going to be conflict between that. And yeah, so it's about, do I achieve and do I choose what will make me famous or rich or powerful or looked at by other people, or do I really go with what's right for me and what I feel to be right? And that's the opposition, that's the choice. And the solution to this problem is Pluto in the 2nd house, which is about survival, okay? And what's going to happen on this day is that humanity is going to realize that you don't need to be self-interested and ego-driven and really only focused on the self to get things done, and humanity is going to make the choice to go with what's right for them. So you know, I can illustrate this with an example. If you don't have enough money to eat on a certain day, you can either decide to steal, or you can decide to trust that you will be taken care of and that you will somehow receive that money, even if you don't know how, to actually be able to put food on that table. On this eclipse, humanity as a whole is going to shift to that second point of view where it will trust that it is taken care of. So it's about trusting that the universe is a friendly place and is a place where you're looked after and cared for. Okay, so those are the four kind of four lunar eclipses. And as far as I can see, there hasn't been anything really untoward here so far. I'm going to have a look at this solar eclipse now and look at this. And this solar eclipse, if you look at the lunar eclipses, they're very much about humanity as a whole. And the solar eclipses can be seen to be more about the people in charge and the people setting the tone for the rest of humanity. And this eclipse is happening on the south node again. So this is about letting something go and having mastered something. There's an opposition here between Uranus and the north node in Libra, and the Sun and the north node in Libra. And what is released and what is let go is humanity's urge to be rebellious and to do things their way and not to care about anyone else, and to absolutely have the paramount focus on getting one's ego needs met. And that can be, you know, every country wants its resources, wants its flag flown at the top, and wants to be known as the greatest country in the world. And that's been, you know, a theme for a while. But on this day, there's an opposition and there's a choice. There's a mastery of this, and there's a more, again, harmonious coming together as humanity and countries and people on the world all focusing their energies on this Libra energy. And there's been so much Libra energy during this whole period. Libra is the sign of harmony, balance, creating something wonderful in the world. And really what I see all of these eclipses as is humanity creating more harmony for itself, creating more peace, creating more joy and connectivity between each other. And everything I've seen so far in each one of these eclipses is all about creating a better place to live on. And that's what I've seen here. Now, if you're a religious person and you want to, you know, you could be right here, but if you decide that the way this harmony is going to occur is by the Messiah coming back on this day and creating more harmony for humanity, then I would agree with you, because what I'm saying is that I don't know the exact details, or whether it's an energy shift or whether it's a specific event or a specific person coming in. I would agree, because I would say that whatever happens on this day, whatever happens over this 2-year period, really shifts humanity into a period of more harmony, more love, more beauty, more joy, and more connectivity. So whatever means this happens by, I really just see the energetic end product and the energetic outcome to all of this. It's about letting go of the ego and connecting the universe as a kind of loving, harmonious energy that really wants the best for humanity and wants it to advance and to perfect spiritually. And that's what I see. So in terms of the you know, the holidays, and in terms of the biblical prophecies, I don't really have any kind of cataclysmic information to share here. All I really see is a general and gradual build-up to a better place to live on Earth and a more harmonious period for us all to inhabit. And I just want to really end this video on this note. There's always news reports and instances when people are told the world is going to end. And I really sense that this is a very, that's something that connects with humanity in a very significant and profound way. Obviously, we're interested if our planet's going to end because we all live here. But I think on a more darker level than that, I think humanity on some level has a real death wish. And I think that human beings intuitively know that some of the things we've done to the planet and we've done to each other isn't really sustainable and isn't really very positive and isn't taking us to a better place. And it's almost like waiting for the end of the world is the easy way out, by thinking, well, we've kind of messed this up a little bit, let's just wait for it all to blow up and then we're done. And then we're either going to go to heaven or hell. But really, that kind of thinking is a little bit simplistic, and I think it's not an urge that you should really go with. What I think is really more important is not when is the world going to end, but really it's more, and it should be more about when is the beginning of the better world starting. You know, when can we turn around and work with each other and let go of the ego and really start to become a race that really cares for each other and helps each other and really works together. And I don't think that sounds idealistic, because I really believe that if everyone stops the world, you know, the war that's happening on the inside in here, because every person with an ego has a war happening in their own head. I think that these kind of shifts, once these shifts have happened and the war ends for everyone in their own mind, then as a race, as a species, the war is going to end for all of us. And it's about subtle shift. It's not about these big events where everything's going to dramatically blow up and it's all finished. That's the ego. It's about working every day to get better, to shift, to do the work on yourself, and for everyone to do that with the help of the universe, of course, and then for us to enter a better time for everybody involved. So I really sense and see on an astrological level that this is what's happening. If you've got any thoughts on this or any feedback or any comments, then please leave a comment. If you'd like a private reading with me, you can get in touch with me by sending me an email. The address is readings@gregoryscott.co.uk. You can also visit my website, which is gregoryscott.co.uk. You can find me on Facebook. You know, and you can get a hold of me, and I would actually love to hear what your thoughts and comments are on the blood moons and the eclipses, because it is a very kind of passionate topic for a lot of people. So I hope you found this useful in some way, and I'll speak to you soon.